Hey everybody, it's me Tejas, and with me today I have Jishnu for a very special new season of the Nerditorium by Geek Fruit. Hi Jishnu.
Hello. This is weird.
I, this is so weird. I physically cannot see you, but you are in my heart and on my lap, technically on my phone.
This is what NDTV feels like. This is amazing. I've
No, this is what
always wanted to
NDTV
know
feels like.
I've always wanted to know what it feels like to be like a news
What's that,
broadcaster.
Jishnu?
And this is it.
Yes, you're right. There has to be a bit of broadcast delay, otherwise it doesn't feel right. Anyway, so Jishnu, today we're going to be talking about a movie that we saw recently. Thanks to kind of the COVID crisis, they released the film. We missed it in theaters, but they released it early.
I think it's
on
fine.
demand.
I don't think I missed anything by not going to theaters
What?
for this one. It's fine. I had a great time watching it. I really enjoyed this movie. But
Yes, so did I. What
didn't-
movie are we talking about, Jishnu?
One hedgehog named Sonic, starring Ben Schwartz and the one and only Jim Carrey. So
And James Marsden, let's not forget him as well.
and that girl that was bugging me, I recognized her and I just couldn't put my finger on it. Then I saw her name and I've already forgotten her name, so I don't know where I
Okay.
saw her. James Marsden's wife. Who's she?
Yes.
She was so familiar. I don't know where I've seen her, but she was great, and I don't know why.
Everyone
I
in this
know her.
movie is great.
It was a pretty good movie. But
Yeah.
my original point being, I didn't miss the fact that we weren't in theaters for this one. I do miss the fact that we can't go to theaters right now, but in this movie, not so much. It was very much straight to VHS.
I will agree with you there. Yes, it wasn't. I think it would have been nice to see the VFX. I'm always a big fan of VFX, to see it on the big screen, so that would have been nice. Having said that, I am a big Sonic fan, so I would have liked to see this in the theaters just because I'm a fan, and that's what fans
just so
do.
you and the 3 other Sonic bros in the entire
What?
city, I would be
Did
there
you
with
ever
you.
play Sonic,
Of course I
growing
did.
up, Vishnu?
I played Sonic and Tails, and it was great. But unlike bigger games like your Warcrafts and Assassin's Creed and stuff, I don't know how many like little Easter egg whoop moments you could have had in this movie on the best day.
So
in the theater.
many. Oh my gosh,
like-
so many. I'll list them out, shall I? Okay,
Please
first
do.
of all, in the Japanese version versus the US version of Sega's very popular franchise Sonic, of course, the one that we're talking about.
You played
Their
both?
two names. Well, no. So the thing is that the character name, Dr. Robotnik versus Dr. Eggman, and they reference both in the film because obviously in the US he was called Dr. Eggman. So if you see some of the Sonic Adventures like this or Sonic Boom or any of the cartoons that came out, those were, they would call the villain Dr. Eggman, and in the Japanese version in the games it would be called Dr. Robotnik. So they kind of reference both of those things. They referenced, the way he looks towards the end. We get to see his final look. So many things like that. There's Tails. I mean, as
You're using the
sorry,
term
that's a
so
bit of a
many.
spoiler,
You're using the
but-
term so many very, very loosely. But yes, okay, I'll give it to you. There are things.
No, I'm serious.
Not- not
there
so
are
many.
like a few things that, man, come on. They like Green Hill Zone. They reference that by naming
great.
the town Green Hill.
Yes.
That's cool. Anyway,
yes,
the point
that's
is,
about it.
I enjoyed this
It was a
movie
fun
thoroughly,
movie.
and
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Jim Carrey carrying this entire film, but everyone did fine.
They
Yeah.
did great. They all did great. Speaking of Jim Carrey, so that was obviously one of the biggest pulls to this movie, was that we finally get to
course.
see him again after ages. And we did an episode on the podcast, Dinkar and I did an episode a couple of weeks ago
Right.
where we talked about the life and times of Jim Carrey. This was before the movie came out, or rather before we got a chance to see it. And we talked a lot on that episode about his isms and how he had a period, particularly in the, I'd say, mid 90s till early 2000s, where he was just on fire like nobody's business, had like 4 or
Absolutely.
5 back-to-back Stone Cold classic hits. And then he kind of spiraled off into doing some more serious stuff. He became a bit more
Yeah.
reclusive, tried doing his painting stuff and visual arts and whatnot. And so this was going to be kind of one of his recent comebacks. He's had a few.
Yeah,
like
he's not
the,
done a movie in a while, right? If I'm
the,
not
la- the
mistaken. I
last
can't
big
remember.
one, the last big one I can think of was Dumb and Dumber 2, but you can also forget about that movie.
Right.
But what I'm getting at though is when we did a deep dive into his films, we found that in his heyday, if we'll call it that, in the mid to late 90s, when he was really at his prime, he was given a lot of roles where he was just allowed to be himself, and then the story kind of happened by happenstance. But you really were there just to see Jim Carrey be Jim Carrey. He just happens to do other things that move the plot along. And I thought this was a better version of a lot of those movies. And what I mean is, like, if you take, for example, like Mask and Ace Ventura, both the Ace Ventura movies and the Mask movie, they're very similar in that here is a story in which we have established a character who is allowed to be as bombastic as possible. And whenever he's on camera, which is 90% of the movie, you can't keep your eyes off of him, but you're not really focusing on what he's doing, more of how he's doing it. You don't really care too much about the plot of Mask or Ace Ventura, but you're watching it just to see him do the next bit. And I thought this movie
Jishnu, you
was
don't
great.
care about the plot about the mask? Oh my gosh.
Do you care that much about Dory and Tyrell? Not me so much. I'm
I
amazed at
do,
myself
because
that I remember.
I watched the cartoon which came on Cartoon Network for such a long time. It
Jackass.
starred, Rob Paulson as Stanley Ipkiss. But anyway, point is, I think Jim Carrey does a fantastic job in this movie, and
He does.
but he's not the only one. Like, he's insanely funny as usual. Like, he was very economically used as well.
Yes.
So I thought he was really good. What did you think about Sonic and Ben Schwartz as Sonic?
Not bad. I mean, I didn't have any serious qualms with him, but then again, I wasn't like in love with him.
I didn't hate
Yeah.
the characters, which is a good start.
He was just fine. Yeah, he was perfectly fine. I will say James Marsden has gotten really freaking good at acting across from a tennis ball. He did like he handled it like surprisingly well, because like most of his scenes in the movie are with the tennis ball. And
he's a champ, dude. I love
great.
James Marsden.
He did really great. But like I said,
in fact, there's that little image that was going around Twitter where James Marsden is just driving imaginary CGI characters all over town, and it's like this movie called Hop where he's doing the exact same thing. They're both sitting in the front two seats of the car, and he's just having a conversation driving them around. So James Marsden is great.
It was a fun time. I have no major complaints. This was arguably one of the better video game movies I've seen in a long time.
That's true.
And what got me thinking though is in comparison to like the previous ones that I mentioned, like a Warcraft or an Assassin's Creed or what have you, is that those movies are pulling from video games that are so dense in their story and in their lore that they are very easy. There's a lot of low-hanging fruit when it comes to playing the fan service card.
You have to, exactly. You kind of have to adapt it a specific way because the story is rich enough for you to make a movie out of it.
But then the Herculean feat of those movies is that with a video game, much like in a book, you spend anywhere from like 10 plus hours in that game and in that world getting to know every little nook and cranny, right? Whereas in a 2D side-scrolling game like a Sonic, there really isn't that much. So
it became 3D later on, Jishnu. I don't know what you're talking about.
We're not going there. But so the best part with that, having a story that is so contained and so small like a Sonic, is that I think it allows you more freedom to like divert and do your own thing. As opposed to in an Assassin's Creed or Warcraft, we're like, that's not how he did it. He didn't go left over there, he went right. But in Sonic, it's literally he went from left to right and that's it.
Yeah, like one of the things I enjoyed about this movie is how they adapted like some of the things that feature in the game, like the fact that he has electricity like moves and stuff like that. And he can get powers basically if he gets power ups in the game. So they do that in that nice little car chase sequence. That's one really cool thing. The other thing that I really liked was the fact that they used the rings, which obviously you collect in the game.
Yeah.
Equivalent of Mario's coins or whatever, but they use that really well as a story beat that he has to transport himself, and I thought that was kind of cool and really nice. Obviously, there's a little bit of similarity that I found between him and Quicksilver's scenes in X-Men and stuff like that. The whole
it was bound to happen.
It was bound to happen, but I thought they did it well,
fine,
and it plays better in this film because obviously Sonic is like he's like a CGI character, and he's supposed to be comedic and funny and stuff like that. So I thought it was cool. All right, Jishnu, leave all of that. Tell me, where does Sonic fall in your video game adaptation rankings? Give me top 3.
It sits comfortably in the participation trophy section because that's all you get. Because winning this award is not saying much.
Not a podium finish?
I mean, sure, we'll put a podium up, but they're all just participation.
Are you saying Sonic doesn't get a podium finish?
No,
Sorry.
I'm saying there is no podium to get onto because the competition is so shit that if you succeed, it's not.
Okay,
it's not
sorry.
much.
Least worst movies.
This is definitely amongst them. I would say
cool. What about
Super Mario Brothers because it has Leguizamo. and Bob Hoskins, and that's great.
When was the last time you saw that movie,
In
Jishnu?
college, I saw like half an hour of it, and that's all I could take. I was not
man.
sober, so it helped.
About half an hour of it is good, so maybe that's why.
How about Ninja Turtles, the first one?
Ninja Turtles.
I can do that.
I enjoyed
I can
it.
do
I
that.
mean, but technically it's not a video game adaptation. It's a comic book to animated show adaptation, which then became a video game.
Then do you count
it's a
Power
bit of a-
Rangers? Like, where do we do this? It's like, you can.
No, so Power Rangers is
nobody
also
cares.
a
Nobody
television
cares.
show.
We kill this.
No, we can.
These details are not worth.
We can do those adaptations
These
later.
details are for the podcast.
But see, Nintendo,
Oh, okay.
Sega, all video game stuff, man. So I would say, if I have to, no particular order, but my top 3 right now is Detective Pikachu, loose adaptation, if it may be, but still that one, Sonic, because it was thoroughly enjoyable, start to finish, and finally, I'm gonna say Mortal Kombat, which is again, you have to look at it from the purview that it's a 90s action film.
Yeah.
But it's still good, man. It's still enjoyable. What makes good movies good? What makes bad movies bad? Will we ever know? Right now, Mortal Kombat is on that list.
God damn it.
Cool. All right. So that's our list. Let us know if you have any different rankings. If we have forgotten any films, I'm sure we have. Tell us in the comments, and we'll get back to you in the comments as well. This has been the Nerditorium, you nerds. Thanks, Jishnu.
Ciao. Ciao. I just said ciao. Bye. Bye.
Bye.